Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk French. This week I'm with Mallz.
Hey guys.
And before we get into it, don't forget to like, follow, share and subscribe. So Mallz, would you say, or that do you feel like these days like people just throw around like the mental health card too loosely, or would you say like it's more like a subjective thing where like you can't tell someone that they're not feeling this or going through this, or like, what would you say?
I feel like obviously times have changed, and that's one thing that we all need to like realize. Whereas like before, I don't feel like it was spoken about enough, and a lot of people weren't as aware. But like in saying that, I do agree that people like often confuse like feelings of like sadness or like feeling down like for a short period of time or for like a day with like something as severe as like depression or anxiety. And I feel like as like a society, like obviously it's like a plus thing that like we're all becoming more aware and like understanding like like mental health is a real thing and it needs to be considered. But like I do feel like it's thrown around a lot. So I guess like in a good way, like we know about it, but it's a bad thing because I feel like it's like the new norm. It's like really common.
Yeah, for example, you can have like you can just, it's easy to just be like, I'm depressed or I'm going through this, and it's like you said, like you just mentioned, like getting confused with like being sad or being down. I feel like it's a slap in the face to people that are really battling depression.
Yeah,
because I know there's levels of depression, but like for example, someone to me, it's not. To me, when I hear depressed, I'm like someone that's maybe borderline suicidal or really, really like down, like they've changed their mood, that their patterns have changed, you know what I mean? That's what I associate with depression. I don't like, for example, let's say I'm sad for like a week.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm depressed. I'm just having a crap week.
Yeah.
I'm not going to label that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Whereas some people would be like, like I was depressed that week, but you can't just, again, these are all mental health. It's health. You need to be diagnosed with that, like you need to see a doctor for that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So
I agree with that to an extent, I'd say, because I feel like with depression and like mental health things, they're so common that people are genuinely functioning with these things, and probably because they haven't like taken the time out to like go doctors, or they don't think it's that serious, they haven't actually been diagnosed, so they don't know. And I feel like with like depression and stuff, like a lot of people won't understand like how common it is until you genuinely go to a doctor and you speak to them, and then they tell you like, like this is a normal thing. A lot of people do go through this. Obviously, another thing I feel like as a society, like we don't always like understand, I'd say, is that depression it shows very differently on different people. So like I have like a family member that's depressed, and like they've genuinely been diagnosed with it. Like I have two, so one is diagnosed with it and the other one's diagnosed with it, so both of them are, but one is very functioning, goes to work, gets on with everything, but like they like unravel in private, and we kind of know like they do have like really bad lows, whereas the other one, like it's written all over them, like you can see that person's like not able to function. And I feel like that's like in a sense, like that's the part that kind of makes it confusing, because it's not like say like if someone's ill with like a specific illness, it's kind of like the same. It
varies on different people.
But this specific, like it just varies on everyone. Like everyone shows it differently. Everyone like reacts to it differently. Everyone deals with it differently. And I feel like as like a society, like when we're dealing with people like with depression, obviously I feel like to us specifically, like we've experienced certain things firsthand, so we know like a lot of things, like how serious things can get. But I also feel like a lot of people haven't experienced that, so they don't understand that when you're throwing around words like I'm depressed, I'm this, I'm that, it genuinely is a trigger to other people who have experienced like the worst end of the stick. And
no, I agree with you. I think one of the key parts I took with the example that you used, your family members, was that, you know how like even both of them, they are functioning completely differently. I think that I'm gonna say anyway, I think what makes it more easier to say depression is because they've been diagnosed with it. So even though, I think that's a perfect example, because they are depressed, but and they've been diagnosed with it, but you can still see that they're showing like different. Whereas for some people, I'm talking about the people that are like, you ain't even see anyone. You're just talking about like, you just wake up one day and just say, I'm feeling this today, or yeah, today I'm feeling that way. Do you know what I mean? So it's true. And then again, but mental health is a weird one as well, because I feel like I don't know what age you need to be taught how serious it is. I think for me, I was kind of shown from young, because obviously, like, I spoke about this in like season 1 or season 2, but it was like, for some that don't know, like one of my old best friends obviously like committed suicide, innit? So for me, I was 13 years old. So obviously when you're 13, I'm 22 now, so when you're 13, you're not really thinking about like suicide too, just like, it's just, yeah, whatever, it's suicide. You're not thinking about it too deep. Whereas, because that happened to me so young, that's made me way more like, I don't use the word conscious. Like, for example, like, let's say you're really upset or something, my mind might just go straight to that, because Mallz is a strong person, and that, so if she's upset and she's really down, she might end up doing that, even though it's not a normal like thought process. Because something that happened to me, that's one of the things that, like, you get like kind of triggers. So I feel like with me, how that's kind of impacted me as an individual is like, since obviously that happened, like, oh my god, it's that. Oh my days, 10 years. Oh my days, it's gonna be 10 years soon. Wow.
I was just thinking that. That's
damn,
crazy.
That's nuts.
Time flies.
Time flies. Damn. I was gonna say that I feel like from there, where I've kind of changed, the person is like the way I like check up on people. It's because that I just feel like if I don't and something happens, that, you know what I mean, like that's
the guilt.
Yeah, it's a little guilt thing, like, and even though it shouldn't be normal, but like that's like for example, I wouldn't throw the word out that I have PTSD from that. Do you know what I mean?
Because you haven't been diagnosed.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw that, but that's how I kind of feel sometimes, where it's like, because that's happened and I'm scared it will happen again, that's just how I act now with all my friends. I wouldn't say it's been the best action, because I feel like sometimes me doing that, it's allowed like some people to like kind of cross boundaries, because they know that like where my mind will go, but at the same time, it's just how I am now. So that's like an example of like how something like suicide, for example, has affected me, even though I'm not a suicidal person. Having lost someone to suicide, do you know what I mean? The way I view people in general, that's just like with me now, do you know what I mean? So, but I think like there's a whole big umbrella of mental health. You got like,
I feel like mental health like such a like, it's like a broad thing. I feel like there's loads of different parts to it. I feel like when we're like having certain conversations, especially like, for example, like you were saying, like what age do we feel like we should talk about it? I just feel like the younger the better. Like as soon as we can start introducing certain conversations, we should, because I genuinely remember as a child having anxiety. Like now as an adult, I'm 22 now. Like I genuinely know when I was younger, I was a very anxious kid, but because obviously like the culture I come from, the family I come from, no one really took that in. And I feel like if I got certain help when I was younger, maybe it would have helped me now to like understand myself as a person. Because I feel like maybe like you, like I lost 2 friends to suicide, and even after then I don't feel like I understood it. Like I was very in denial. I was very like, I don't know, like I just didn't understand it at all. But then when certain things happened to me, and I actually understand. Because I literally like learned how it feels like when like, I don't know, like mental health, like for me, I can only speak on my experience. It's just a weird one. Like sometimes like you feel like, like I want to talk to everyone and say it, but then other times it's like you feel like you're burdening people, and then you feel like I don't want to share this, or like it's just like a big cycle. And I feel like there's so much like things to do with it that like we need to speak about it. But in saying that too, I feel like it's spoken about so much now that like a lot of people are just missing the point, if that makes sense. That's what I'm
saying. I feel like not even just missing the point. I feel like we're talking about it, but we're not doing anything about it. It's like we keep saying we got to discuss, we got to do this. We talk about it, but we don't do anything. So let's be real. Like on the internet, if you type it up, there's loads of pages about it, but it's like actively doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like actively, like I'm not gonna say just being there, but like being more aware, like picking up on certain stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like just picking up on certain stuff, behaviors, changes in patterns, like that kind of stuff. Or like you said about younger the better, like having those conversations, no matter how uncomfortable they may be, like they need to be had. Do you know what I mean? Like now you said when you were younger, you were like really anxious. Now that you were aware of that, when you have your own kid, at least you can now like have those conversations, no matter how you decide to have it, but like not even that, and you also be aware because you had it as well. Do you know what I mean? So like that kind of stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's just, I don't know, like you said, like now when I see younger kids, like especially in my family, I genuinely can spot out the child that's anxious, the child that's not like okay at that time. Whereas because my parents never knew better and their parents never knew better, it was like often like unspoken about, untouched. Even when I did like vent about certain things, like my parents kind of not laughed, but like they kind of just brushed it, like, oh, you're just sad just for today, like you'll be fine, like. And that's like another thing, like you were saying, like what are we actually doing about mental health? Like I feel like mental health, yeah, even like when you go to the doctor, so like you'll go there, like the procedure for me was like I went to the doctors, told them, I didn't even go, my mum like referred me to them. They kind of like they'll obviously speak to you, you'll do like certain assessments, they'll diagnose you with whatever. But then even after they diagnose you, it kind of feels like you're doing the running, you're doing the calling, you're the... Like, I don't know, like, you're still in charge of, like, your own well-being. And obviously, like, yeah, like, we all are. But when you're going through it, sometimes it's like, is this really, like, the help that you offer? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, even down to, like suicide prevention, stuff like that. If you go online and you type in, like, the phrase, obviously, like, it will come up with, like, hotlines. But, like, people that I know that have used it, like, it's like very limited a lot of the times. And I'm not saying these things don't help, because they might help another
somebody
person
else,
like I said, it's everyone's different, but I know what I mean. Like, it really, like, a lot more does need to be done about it.
Would you say stuff like, because one of the things that I'm really big on is like, one of my things I told you as well, I feel like friends are here for a reason. I feel like even obviously, like, ideally you would speak to your family about things, innit? But if you can't speak to your family, I feel like that's where friends come in clutch, because that you see I feel like, don't get me wrong, my family and me were so tight, yeah, but like, let's say something uncomfortable, like your friends won't have that kind of like, not judgment, yeah, because not all family judge, but I'm just saying that like, the way you are with your friend, they're your friend for a reason, innit? So I feel like obviously you know who you're talking to there, but like certain friends can really help you get through something. They'll be there, even the ones that, even if someone that's not always with you physically, like on the phone, it's communication all the time, I feel like they can help a lot of people. Like, do you know what I mean? Like obviously I haven't had like nothing too, I think for me, like the lowest I was at, it was in uni. It was literally third year uni, and it was just like I was really, really low. But I'm kind of someone where it's like, I know we're gonna sound insensitive, yeah, but like I'm someone that like you're laughing
because that's funny.
With me, I'm not someone that wants to just, I'm obviously, I like feeling it, but I'm not someone that can just feel it and just keep feeling it and feeling it. For me, life goes on there. Like I can feel it for a little bit, and even if it's every night I think about it, during the daytime things need to be done. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Literally. So that's what I'm saying. But again, I think what helped with that was like, I was talking to all of you lot, so you lot without even knowing, just talking to you guys, I was just like bringing my mood up small, do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like friends play such a big role in like how you feel.
I feel like like anyone that's like, especially any like younger viewers, like genuinely, if you're ever going through something, if you feel like you can't talk to like your family or anything, talk to your friends, because genuinely, like, one good friend can like save your life. Or,
100%.
And that's genuinely speaking from like a personal experience. Like, I feel like my friends are everything, especially the friends that I have now. Like, I remember like me and you had like one deep convo like recently, and I feel like ever since that convo, genuinely like a burden's been lifted off my shoulders, and that's just one conversation. Like, do you know what I mean?
Imagine having like
constantly like doing that.
It's true, and the thing is, like, even those conversations, just know your friend. Maybe your friend doesn't want to talk about it all the time, but just being there to have a laugh or something, that can really make your friend.
You talk about that specific thing, but like, go 100%. To your friend's house, ask to go out to eat, like, just do something. Life actually moves on. And one thing that I've learned, like, is that like with mental health, like, as hard as, and like sometimes it just genuinely feels like this is the end, like this is just it, this is how I feel, but there's always like tomorrow, there's always like a light at the end of the tunnel. And I feel like just don't go through it alone. And even if like, because there's a lot of people that don't have friends or don't have family or don't have someone they can talk to, there's services that are like there to help, like even like down to like little groups, or like just find anyone and anything that like will bring you peace or bring you happiness. Don't allow yourself to believe like this is the end for you, because it never is. But yeah, like I feel like mental health, like it's a really like great thing that like now it's spoken about a lot, because I genuinely believe like it's helped a lot of people. Like I don't know what I would have done like if I came here and then society here was the same as back home, like they just didn't consider it. I probably like would have stayed stuck in certain thoughts and feelings, kind of, do you know what I mean? Whereas now like I kind of feel like I'm teaching my parents about the severity of things, like, and I feel like my parents are starting to like understand it too, like obviously from their own personal experiences, but through me too, because it's like we're having certain conversations and like we're challenging each other about these topics. But in saying that, I do still feel like there's like a lot more that needs to be done, like especially like in schools, in youth.
I think in school, correct me if I'm wrong, because school was a while ago. PSHE, what was that again?
I didn't speak about mental health.
No, not speaking about mental health. Maybe I'm tweaking, but I'm sure PSHE has something to do with
the only thing I remember
feelings
was
a little
euthanasia. Bit. That's literally the only topic.
What's that?
Assisted suicide. Like, you know, like
someone's
terminally ill,
that
or like,
stuff.
Yeah. Like if someone's terminally ill or like they're going through it and you assist their suicide.
No, I used to do PSA, but maybe it's this stuff like how does a happy person look like to you? Or how does like the questions like how does a sad person look like to you? And the reason why they'll be interesting was because like everybody would have different kind of like everybody would say different things and it would just make you deep. Anyone can be sad. Like, do you know what I mean?
Maybe I went to like some.
I don't recall
that. My school didn't give me that. My school gave me like just not that.
I'm sure I don't know. Well, I'm assuming a lot of more schools do it, but like
I hope so.
But again, that's not deep mental health, innit? That's just like, and again, like when I was in secondary school, we only had a suicide talk because like my friend that committed suicide went to my school.
Yeah.
Like not like being insensitive or nothing, but like if it didn't happen, I would have never had a suicide talk. Like, do you know what I mean?
Literally.
I feel like a lot of secondary schools, they should do certain talks, but they don't. Like, for example, I'm trying to think what else is there. Like in secondary schools, I don't remember having certain talks. Not even just about, not even just talking about suicide. There's not much depression talk. There's not much stress talk. Because with stress, all you get supposed to do is exercise. And for me, don't get me wrong, I'm an athlete, bro. You can tell me to exercise. I'm still, like, athletics can even, like, for example, some of my lowest points in life have been with athletics. So what are you gonna tell me to do? Keep running? Like I'm sad, bro. Like what are you gonna do?
Other people like me, like I can't be stressed when someone tells me go for a jog. Like what does that do for me, bro?
That's what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. I know it helps, but I'm like, there's way more things that help than just that.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Because I'm someone where you're going to tell someone that's an athlete to exercise.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. For me, athletics, so like for example, for me, athletics, yeah, like you see when I'm injured, you don't know when I'm injured. My mood is, I can try and fake through it, but like I'm at my happiest in athletics when I'm in good shape and I'm running well. Again, that's even something that I'm trying to work on because I don't want to attach a time that I run to how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like well, in my opinion, I feel like better athletes do that. Like they kind of like see their worth or like their value in what they run. I'm like, bro, like you're more than what you run. Like, do you know what I mean? I always say this: we can't run forever, innit? So it's going to be a certain point in time when you stop running, that can't be your main source of like. You have to be happy elsewhere. So like with me, I'm happy that like it's not just athletics that makes me happy. It's my friends, it's my family. It's this, do you know what I mean? Like loads of other stuff.
That's what I'm saying, but like that's a lot. Like a lot of people don't think like that, and a lot of people, like even me, truthfully, I'm only like starting to learn that this year. Like in the last few months. Before that, whenever I was going through something, that took over my whole life. Like I genuinely would shout out from work, shout out from my friends, shout out from studying, shout out from my family. Like my family wouldn't even see me for the whole week because I'm just in my room. You don't just hear me going to the toilet. Like that's it. Like truthfully, and like I'd never saw life like that. But like I said, like certain conversations with my friends and that genuinely like made me see things from a different perspective, which is the other side. Like like bro, like this just doesn't make or break you. Like there's other things.
And another thing, that it's not the best mentality to have it with me. I'm proper, like, I think it's been a couple of years now, I'm proper flip side person. I'm like you said about like the tunnel, for me, I'm like, you can't have no rainbow without rain. That's how I look at stuff, innit? I'm like, there's always a reason. Like, not even just that as well, yeah, but I'm just like, it's not good to think about, but I'm like, I try to be grateful because in my head, I'm aware there's always someone that's going for something worse. Like, I can be upset about this.
Yeah.
Like, even right now in the economy right now, I'm upset, but I've got a roof on my head. I work.
Yeah.
Got, like, family around me. You know what I mean? There's people that are, like, orphans, for example. People that are homeless. Like, they ain't got no money. Bro, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, not saying that I'm not also sad, but I'm, like, it just makes me be a bit more grateful because that person right now will be very happy with what I have. So let me just try to be a bit more grateful with whatever's going on with me right now. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. I think but another kind of mental health. I feel like there's this. It's this. The umbrella's just so big in it. It's even stuff like eating disorders, for example. Like a lot of people, like it's a bit uncomfortable for certain people, yeah. But eating disorders is so like it holds such a heart to me. Cause I remember I did the episode season 4, I think, on the one that I had in it, and that one kind of came from athletics. Like, remember, I told you about that when I wasn't eating. I tried every single diet. Like, I was ill, I was headache, everything, you know what I mean? All because I wanted to have certain things that I literally need that works out so much. I just stopped eating, or if I was eating, it'd be small. And it's like, some people may joke about it, but that's real life. Like, for certain people, do you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, you can't, like, you know, like the whole, like, body dysmorphia and that as well. Like, me, I was looking in the mirror and I was like, nah. Whereas some people be like, oh my god, Ernest, are you being serious? Like,
and I remember that phase because I remember looking at you like, I wish I had your body, and you genuinely used to sit there and not see what I saw.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I remember, because even in my girl story, I'll just, like, every day I take like a snap, like topless, just looking at my belly, just like, yeah, it's not too bad today, guys, but I'm just like, that's not.
Did you get it?
You get it? And I feel like what I was lucky with, where I feel like, I don't want to say all, like, let's say our community, for example. I don't want to say all, but for me, where I'm lucky is that with my mum, because we're really close, because I was doing this mainly in uni, when I came back and she realized I wasn't eating properly, she was the one on my back to help getting better, because it was like, I'm in my mum's house, I'm not eating. Yeah, and she knows like this is not like me. I feel like that's what helped me. Right, there's some people where like they might have, like, she was really like nice about it, whereas some people they might have had like a really uncomfortable kind of thing about it. Because eating disorders, it's be like, oh, just eat, that's man. Like, it's not that simple.
Family, like, I love my family to death. Ooh, they be cutting up in the house. Like, the minute you put on too much weight or you lose a lot of weight, they're like chewing you up. Like, I think you remember I had a phase where like I went from and listen, my family ate me up. My family ate me up. I got so slim. I used to in a short period of time. And
I feel bad now.
Yeah, like before that, my family always commented on my weight, like, oh, you're too big, you're too this, you're too that. And then the minute I lost a lot of weight, they genuinely like would say certain phrases. I'm not even gonna repeat it, like to genuinely like hurt me. And I would go like, and they wouldn't mean it. It's just the way they are. But I would go home and I'll genuinely like feel so like upset within myself, because when I was like bigger, you guys wasn't happy with me, and now that I'm slimmer, no one's happy with me. So I just felt like I'm like, what am I doing? But then like I feel like it happened to me at an age where I was maturing too. So it literally like a switch went off in my brain. Like, what am I doing? Like, this is my body. Whatever I look at in the mirror and I like is what I'm going to keep. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, do you know what I mean? And that's why like when we're discussing mental health and stuff, we always have to understand the different factors in each individual person's life, because some people might have a supportive family, supportive friends, and like some may all not. Of this, and some may have like that. They could be the reason why you're so like mentally weak at that stage, because it's your family coming for you, or your friends, and like you'll never understand each other. That's why I feel like with mental health, it's just one of those things where we have to like openly talk about it and openly understand that everybody's experience is different. Everyone's going through it in their own ways. And like we said at the beginning, like I feel like once you get like the diagnosis from the doctors, it kind of changes a lot of things, because not only are you like aware that cool, this is what I'm going through, you're being told how you can like help yourself and get better, and truthfully, genuinely getting that help you need, like even down to like medications, therapy. So like after I lost my friend, I had to go to therapy. Like I didn't speak to my family for 3 weeks straight. Like I went to like my cousin's house and I stayed with my cousin. I kid you not, no communication with none of my parents. I couldn't speak to them, couldn't even bring myself to have words with them. And then once I did go home, instead of like my family attacking me, my parents both like realized like, yeah, like shorty is not okay. Like they called my doctors on my behalf. And then when I went there, I still couldn't speak about it, but they pushed me into therapy straight away. Once I went to therapy, like even medication, like just so much things to actually help. And I always think like if that was like 2 years ago, my parents would have never took that route, like ever. They would have told me to go pray, go eat, go wash the dishes, and you'll be fine. Do you know what I mean? Like
everyone's going there, and even when you said about your parents, I feel like for me, when I start, I don't know what age it was, yeah. But it was quite young. I think at like 15, 16, I started looking at my parents as just human beings.
Yeah.
And I was like,
before that,
mum and dad aside,
characters in my life.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, this is mum and dad, whatever. Then I was like, mum and dad aside, these two are actually people. So like, for example, yeah, I'm like, and for parents, yeah, I'm like, bro, like, they're not winging it. Like, day by day, they're just praying that their methods work. And that, do you know what I mean? They're also learning, like you said about stuff that they have back home. There's probably stuff back home that I would never know about. But the way that, like, but for me, I've seen my parents grow in it. Like the way, that's why our relationship with my family is so like, we're so close and tight knit. Because it's like these lot, like in my house, communication is so like we're like, for example, what I like about our household is like we're allowed to disagree with our parents. For example. We can have healthy discussions about that. And I feel like because over the years they started to deep, like, do you know what I mean? Like we got to speak about things. You can't just dictate something and then, do you know what I mean? You got to speak about it. And it's like, again, I started realizing they're human beings, bro. They're gonna be upset as well. So let's say like I'm consciously taking the piss. I'm like, they might be having a crap day at work and they come back home and I've just made it 10 times worse.
Literally.
Like they're gonna be upset too. But whereas their difference is they can't just like,
they gotta keep it pushing.
Yeah, they're my parents, unfortunately. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why I'm like, that has a very big
yeah, and it's so crazy you said that, because I was literally like, I was with my dad the other day, and when I left him I was just like in like a thought process, and all I was thinking was like, when I was at my lowest, I felt like my parents didn't understand me, and a lot of it like was like, when you're going through it, you kind of start to resent people for not understanding how you feel, like sometimes. And I feel like with me, my resentment came towards my parents in a sense where like, how can you not see that I'm genuinely not okay? Yeah. But I don't know, like I realized that number one, I can't put that blame on them, because I'm genuinely, I got to a stage where I didn't even tell them a lot of stuff I didn't go through. And obviously my parents are quite young, so I feel like as I got older, like the period like from like 20 to now, I feel like I've matured, and I've matured in the sense where I look at my parents like people. Yeah. So I understand their pains, what they go through, and like there's like I don't know, like we just communicate better in that sense. And I feel like, you know that saying when it's like your parents should also be your friends. Genuinely, like I look at my parents like that now. Like I'm genuinely working towards like we need to be as tight as ever, because you guys go through it too. Like you guys need me just as much as I need you. And
they're very strong. I feel like my parents are so strong. Like parents
literally
are so
strong. Like my parents had me and like my two sisters, 21, 3 kids. Like we're 22, bro. Can you imagine us with 3 children? And on top of that, we're coming from like the Middle East to here with like having to like build from nothing. You don't know the language, you don't know anything.
That's what I'm saying, because I'm like, a lot of people don't deep here. Like, that's why I always say like, yeah, we are basically foreign, innit? But like, fam, is like, could I at 22 just say, Bun England, let me go somewhere that, like, for example, it's different because in Cameroon, like, we built our house there, so it's fine. But I'm saying, could I just pick up my thing and say, you know what, let me just go to Mexico
and build a house, like learn the language.
Let me just learn the language and just, because
it's a better future here for my kids.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Crazy, and it's a lot of sacrifice.
And remember the time when they came as well, you're dealing with, don't get me wrong, we're still dealing with like racism today and everything, but fam, like the stuff they're dealing with as well, like that's why for me, obviously I do things for myself, but I'm like, fam, I owe it to do that, to at least make it worth it.
That's
do you know
why,
what I mean? And make them proud.
My worst stage was at uni. Everyone knows my uni experience is like genuinely out of this world. I absolutely could not deal with it. Like that was like the peak of what I went through, and the only reason why I haven't dropped out is because of my parents. Like And I know it's mad to say like I'm doing it for my parents, because no, I genuinely like studying and I do want to do it for myself too, but I'm so sorry, my biggest push factor is my mum and my dad, because they sacrificed so much to bring me here.
That's what I'm like.
For me to like not like give back in that, like just little 3 years, like just to give back, do you know what I mean?
Because
like,
I always look at it like my parents could have been different life back home if they wanted to. Like they could just be like, yeah, like I don't need to be here. Literally. Don't get me wrong, like we're still living good, but I'm just like, the sacrifice they made, bro, the minimum I can do is give you all that. And I feel like with me, like last year, like having graduated and everything, like I'm telling you, like at graduation, yeah, bro, the way my parents were happy that day, like for me it was like, yeah, like all of them like little doubts was worth it. Like don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna say uni is not stressful, because it's stressful, bro. But like I got a video, I shot a video after we finished recording, yeah, like and then when they the ceremony, like my dad said Maris, and he got up, yeah, and he was like, yeah, it's like that. It was proper like that, and I'm just like, yeah, but like for me, I was like, bro, I was even embarrassed. I was like, hi, Dad, you know what I mean? Because it's like they're so proud of you. So stuff like that, if it's not uni, innit, but maybe just other stuff, like for me, just making them proud. Like I don't care, like you said, anyone says. For me, if they're happy, I'm happy, bro. Literally. Like that's for me, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like I love them so much, respect as well, but like. That's for me, but
literally, and like in my religion, there's like a saying that says heaven's underneath your mum's feet. When I was younger, mum always used to repeat that to me, and I kid you not, I just used to look at like, what are you talking about, lady? Like I just don't get you right now. As I've gotten older, I really, really like your mother's prayer, your mother's touch, just being in your mum's environment. Nothing will top that, like at all. I feel like. And the saddest part for me is this, like our parents have probably gone through so much we will never know about. Like they've probably experienced mental health at like a big height, and they just wasn't aware of it.
But maybe their parents as well will probably even. So that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So let's say our parents are blunt, boy, their parents must have been
exactly.
Even
I've met my
blunter.
grandparents. That's not a joke. Like cutthroat. They don't play like. And I just think like I always like feel it for my parents, and I feel like as I'm getting older, like them teenage years, I didn't really get them. Like I tried to, like I had a good relationship with both my parents, but I didn't really understand like them as people, and I feel like I didn't view them as people, like their own individual people who laugh, who genuinely have their own personalities, own life. They go out, they have to deal with the real world. They probably have a shopkeeper be rude to them, someone be like, do you know what I mean? Like, and when I was younger, I just never used to consider that, oh, like maybe my dad had a hard day at work, or maybe he's stressed, or maybe, whereas now it's just like, I really like, I'll call my parents and I'm like, hi, how are you?
That's what I do. That's what I do.
And like at first my dad like would answer and be like hello, like why you call it? Like, would you need anything? But now, like, I feel like he's got like he understands. I'm older now. I've changed, and I understand.
Yeah, for sure. Because my dad used to. I used to have like my dad will me and my have phone call for like 1 minute. Yeah. But like I'll be like uni, like how's uni? Yeah, good. I'm going to lecture. Okay, that's good. You got money? Like yeah, all right, cool. Have a nice day.
Literally.
Now it's like I'll be on my break and I'm calling my dad. He's like, oh yeah, how's I'm like, yeah, everything's calm, dad. Like, then I'm just talking to him like normal. Or I'm at home like every day. I ask him like, how you guys doing? You right? If they had a bad day at work, like now they'll kind of tell me, and I like that because it's like, listen, I'm also here to listen and speak to you. Do you know what I mean? So 100%.
I genuinely like take time out my day to like call my parents and be like, hey, like how are you feeling today? Like just that little bit of, do you know what I mean? Like when 100. My friends do it to me or my sisters do it to me, it genuinely like
it makes you
sets
happy
the tone for the rest of my day. Like I'm cool, I'm happy, and I feel like I feel guilty sometimes, and I'm like, bro, like as a child, as a teenager, I just didn't get these things. Like I wish there was like talks or something to like make us understand like the real world aspect of life, because school, yeah. Boy, I don't know.
There's only so much you can get from school.
There's only so much. Like it's all like books and the academic side.
I still miss school.
School was school, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm thinking wrong. There's still things you can get from school, but there's just certain stuff that you have to just be thrown in there to understand the stuff, and then you just go from there. Literally. I'll be so real.
And like to all the younger viewers, you at like 16, 17 is not you at 22. Like I know everyone always says it. Like when people used to say it to me, I used to just side.
I used to be like, yeah, whatever.
Like, yeah.
I want to be like this forever. No,
oh my gosh, no. Like I've changed. Like I feel like every year, like I reach a new like height of my brain. Like and then I unlock a new level.
I know what you're saying.
Like I can't explain it, but if you get me, you get me. Like
I think one of the things that you can say if you don't agree with not, but one of the things that I've seen in myself from 16 to now, I think 16 to 18 it was like loud. Now I'm just quiet to myself. I feel like now I'm just a bit more quiet. I tell people now, like, I don't talk that much. Yeah, I don't, but I talk to my friends more. But now I'm just to myself. Like, well, before I was proper like, yeah, blase out here. Now I'm just like calm, and that's because like at 16 I always thought I'd be like that. Like I genuinely thought I'd be like this bubbly person for life. Now I'm just calm.
Yeah,
like this is my tone of voice in
That's
general.
like me when I was younger. Like you know me when I was younger. I'm so different now. Like I can't even see myself having an argument with someone on the road. Like
and I'm just like,
it's just different. It's so different. And I feel like another big thing that people don't talk about is like, see, when you go through things like mental health and all these things, I'm so sorry, it humbles you so much. You just value life so differently. Like when you have to like genuinely drag yourself out of a dark corner and keep fighting for like the rest of like the next day.
That period,
it just makes you just change so much. Like now I don't unnecessarily speak. I don't comment on things I don't need to comment on. I genuinely value the people around me. I'm scared to lose people. Like when I was young, I feel like any friend I could lose or like get cut off, it is what it is. Whereas now it's like the people that's in my life I genuinely value so much. Like, and I just care more. Like I'm just more of an empath.
Is that you call it?
I don't know how you say it. Empath.
Oh, like empathy. I'm more of an empath.
Yeah, empath. I think that's, you don't get what I'm saying. But yeah, like I'm way more of that. Like I really, I feel people and I really care as well. And I feel like life just humbles you, and like things like mental health and stuff don't define who you are.
100%.
And truthfully, like even us sitting here talking about it, like we're only speaking from our own experiences. There's genuinely like serious help that if that's the case for you, get the help you need.
You
talk
also
to the
ask
right
me.
people. Yeah, and
I'm actually I'm not even joking. Like, if you're like a proper listener, you can literally
message, and you know. But like, I just feel like everyone should take it a lot more seriously. It isn't something to just throw around if you are feeling like that. Genuinely, like if someone says I'm depressed, I don't take it as like, oh, like this. I'm looking at like, are you okay? Like
that's what my mind goes to.
Just jump up straight away.
Like, if someone's like to me, I'm suicidal, bro, where my mind even goes, it's not even normal. I'm just like, you can anytime I'm awake. Like if you say I'm suicidal, I am wide awake.
Literally.
But yeah, man, obviously I feel like there's loads of stuff that need to be, I could be here for ages talking about it. I don't want to speak about certain like
too deep into it.
Stuff like OCD, for example. That word gets thrown around lightly. People don't even know what OCD actually is.
OCD
just because you're clean, I mean you're OCD, bro. Because you're
not.
clean, trust me, OCD is deeper than that. Stuff like schizophrenia, that's deeper than you think. What else is there? I don't know if it's mental health. It's not even mental health. This is just something else. Stuff like ADHD. You guys, some of you are just using that word for bands. You don't even know what it's like for ADHD, for example.
Even
do you know
like
what I mean?
throwaway comments, like saying stuff like, "Oh, like I don't know." Like no one around me does this, but I hear people in conversation like, "Oh, like he's ADHD or he's acting disabled or he's this." Like, bro, we're actually grown. Number one, you don't say things like that.
You don't throw them words like you don't just throw them like that. Especially if you don't know like not even the severity, but my whole thing is like when I can't explain it. Like for example, I was in primary school, I had a friend that had Asperger's syndrome in it, bro. It's like I can't describe. Like you think it's, like I said, ADHD. I'm not gonna pick up certain stuff here, but it's like ADHD level 10, and the bare stuff. It's just like, and literally, it's a lot of things in it. So I'm like, if you say certain things, I'm like, not too much, because if you know what it's really like, calm down. So even stuff like that's what I'm saying, loads of things. I'm not saying don't say it, but just mind how you're speaking. Because I'm also a thing where like the power of the tongue is strong in it. Keep saying you're something and then you're gonna become it. So that's what I'm saying. Mind how you speak. That's what I'm saying. Mind how you speak about. So it's even worse. Somebody next to you will have it.
It could be your kids. It could be the next
and you don't want that. And you'll be praying that you never said that. Do you know what I mean?
And like I feel like, I don't know, like it makes me sad. I feel like compassion is the biggest thing as humans we can have. I think compassion is like the most powerful thing in general. And I feel like I hate that you like people in society have to first-hand experience something for them to be compassionate. When like, I don't know, like I can see someone on the street and like I can see their child's like suffering from something, and it will just make me feel away. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I can't imagine myself like laughing or feeling like running a joke. Or
this is not even mental health. I don't even have like a 5-minute discussion on this. Just a point you just made right there. Obviously it's like a trigger word, guys, but obviously like even if stuff like rape, for example, you'll see something's come up, and like you'll see certain guys be like, yeah, well, I have sisters that come from. I think it's not about that. I'm like, you shouldn't have to have female friends or sisters to want to have full compassion about that kind of subject. I'm like, bro, like, you know, about you just said about compassion, bro, just, you don't need to base your compassion because of people that you know. Do you know what I mean? There's just certain things where it's like
on the fact that we're
human beings, like, do you know what I mean? Like that kind of, obviously I don't want to get into that yet, but it's like, do you know what I mean? Whereas, like you just said, it's not because someone's been through something that you must switch on. No, you should just be aware of it and just know, cool. Like, for example, stuff like autism, innit? Like, one of my, basically my nephew, cousin's son, innit, has autism. Just because do you think it's because he is that I care about it? I care about it in general because I'm a human being, bro. And it's real life, like I'm trying to say.
First-hand experience in something, there's nothing wrong with like when you first-hand experience something to be more aware. Nobody is saying that, but just the feeling of compassion, like you genuinely feel like that human feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like I just feel like this society is so, and I truly believe it's these phones, it's TikTok, it's all these things. Everything. We're so exposed to things where like we don't feel anymore. It's almost normal. Like,
or some people would try and dress it up as like dark humor. Like, it's not even funny.
It's not
like, for
funny.
example, I laugh at nearly everything, but bro, you won't see me on the comment of someone disabled, bro. Or someone's like, that's not like, see with me, you can try and be like, yeah, but it's dark. That's not even dark to me. If you think that's dark, go to tap. That's fine by me. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is not funny. Do you get it? Or like you said with TikTok and that, people are so comfortable now just commenting what they like, how they feel like on certain stuff. And it's like, bro, who are you to say that to someone?
It's true. And like, we gotta understand with social media, I always say this, but all these people in the comments and that, they will never ever say this stuff to your face ever. They will never ever repeat it out loud to anyone's face. Like, and it's genuinely sad.
Or even again, like to your compassion stuff, like let's say someone on TikTok, because I used to be at this a little bit, and then I realized, I understand them now. Somebody on TikTok in the moment might be having a breakdown and they're talking about it on the camera, and they're like, why are you doing that for? I'm like, bro, that's the method of processing. Do you know what I mean? They're not asking you to comment, by the way, you're choosing to comment. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like, just acknowledge that someone's going with something bad. Maybe just say it like, hope you get better or something, and just keep it going.
Yes,
there. Like, there's no need to be like, LMAO, that you have friends. If they had friends, or if they were comfortable with friends, do you think they would do that? Like, have that kind of mindset. Like, before you're thinking, talk to your friends instead. Do you not think that they would if they were comfortable enough to do that?
Exactly.
Like, maybe some people are, I know it's weird, but some people don't mind talking to strangers, you know. Like, some people are fine telling strangers something like their best friend.
It's like therapy. Like, I'm so sorry. Until you go therapy and you genuinely go through that procedure, you will never understand how much of it impacts speaking to someone that's not in your circle, not in your box. Like, has like...
Sorry, to wrap this up, because you mentioned therapy, and this was brazy. There was this girl I saw on TikTok this week, No, I'm not even laughing. It's not even funny. It's not funny. Straight face. She lost her mum. But I think she said something like, she went to her friends and they all told her something like, why you're a bad friend.
Yeah.
Not like a circle time, but they all got onto her. And then she dropped to her therapist, and I was like,
she went to her therapist, and her therapist told her that her friends are wrong and they're bad for that, but she dropped her therapist instead of her friends.
And I was like,
I'm gonna leave my mum, and my friends are gonna tell me what's wrong with myself.
Let me tell you
at
something.
That time.
Even if I've done the mad thing, if I've lost my friend, you better not even like. See with me, I know literally there's a time and place for everything. My mum's just like passed away. Do you think this is the time and place to be sitting down and telling me, "Wow, I'm a bad friend"?
Literally.
Do you get it? That's what I'm saying. Like, blow the people, yeah. That's why I believe, yeah, a lot of people are bad, man, you know. Like, they're wicked. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Compassion.
That's
People
what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of, that's why, like, I'm heavy on this. Like, just have your couple good, genuine friends in this life. Don't just be front up with everyone, because I'm just like.
To. And another thing is, when we're befriending people for aesthetics, which is what's going on right now, these things happen.
It's
and
true.
I'm not saying that's why that happened to that girl. I don't know her friends or her story, but I'm saying in general, our generation, I'm seeing this so much. Like, people are friending up each other for aesthetic, and like, then you're going through the worst of the worst, or when you are going through the worst of the worst, you don't have any friends, and it's because
they're even the same ones that they're probably airing your business, because they don't care. Like, you don't know them. Like, yeah, she's pretty. Okay, now what? That's it.
That's like all there is. Like, it's crazy.
Or like, you like the way she dresses, or you like the way she does things when she goes out, so you want to be her best mate. You don't know what she's really like. Literally. And I feel like, again, before I wrap this up in it, I feel like dumb kind of stuff get on my nerves, yeah, because it's like, sometimes, don't get me wrong, yeah, it's not about judging people, but I'm like, bro, when someone you're trying to be friends with has a kind of pattern, there's a reason why.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why that person ain't got a friend, for example, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Unless she's really unfortunate. But like, do you get it? Like, bro, that person obviously has bad patterns. And yeah, all of that. So
literally.
Obviously, to wrap this up, in the future, not even the future, in general, guys, let's be more active.
And more compassionate.
Yes, with mental health and just in general. Genuinely,
if you feel like something's wrong or you don't feel okay, talk to your doctor. Get professional help. Or like French said, message her.
Yeah, message me.
Find someone older or someone you can trust or confide in, and genuinely just get that advice you need. You never know, like, one conversation can change your life.
100%. Also, I didn't mention it for the whole episode for whatever reason, but also I believe in prayer as well. Like, prayer is
a big thing. I didn't mention it too. I
didn't mention it. It's embedded in me. Like, that's my first place to go to pray. Do you know what I mean? But guys, don't forget prayer. To pray.
And if like that's not your chosen route, genuinely get the professional help you need. There's always an alternative, and there's always a way out, and there's always light under the end of the tunnel.
A rainbow without rain.
Facts.
Anyways, see you guys next time. I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode.